Like every year, pre-COVID and somewhat in the first year of COVID, we continue with this tradition of post-budget interaction with the industry and business, and that in Mumbai. So I do remember the last time I had come, and probably without the masks all of us could interact. We are here today to carry on with the tradition. And as has been the custom since 2019, at least I can say, the ministry officials are all with us for you essentially to interact. Not that you don't meet them, but for this interaction. But certainly this gives us an opportunity, even as the finance bill is in the parliament. The committees are all looking into it, the parliamentary standing committees are looking into it. We are here to discuss and also probably answer some of the questions that you may have in your mind in the meantime. Once the parliament resumes in March, we take it up in the House and have the finance bill passed so that the new financial year starts from 1st April. As you know, this budget has been a budget which has been made for a time where the economy is coming out of the pandemic. The recovery is the one most important thing that all of us will have to focus our attention on. And a sustained recovery, a strong recovery is something which is what all of us would want. And therefore this budget probably gives more space and attention and focus on keeping that growth revival as the priority. And it also has messages for very clear sustainability as our priority. It also has a message of predictable tax regimen. And we continue the good things that we took up last year in bringing transparency to the process of budget making and also accounting. Keep everything on board rather than leave a few outside of the budget. We have also tried balancing the focus on growth, as I said, focus on a sustained recovery, and keeping the focus on growth meant that we continue with the story of investing in public infrastructure building. I've explained it several times before, it is more to repeat, that spending on infrastructure was chosen as a more favorable route because it ensures greater multiplier effect. And with a greater multiplier, we hope that assets can be created, such assets which can last us for several decades. And also that this budget aims at giving a blueprint for the next 25 years. A blueprint was given last year. In continuation with it, we want to expand it to mean that the Amritkal of India will be the next 25 years leading towards India at 100. And India at 100, all of us have a dream of what it should be, what India should have as its endowment, how our youth, today's youth, moving towards their 20 plus 25, will have an India which they can be happy and proud about living in, and therefore it sets a blueprint for that as well. And in all this process, we are not just talking about today's strengths and challenges, but we are also looking at a future India which will have a greater technological influence in its policy making, technology which is so required to keep in pace with all that is happening. We saw the facilitation that technology can provide, particularly at a time when the pandemic hit the globe. We thought India could manage many things because of the advantage it had, having adopted the technology in various different ways, payments being one of the top most of them. We could reach people and in their homes, we could give money into their accounts, all because of the way in which technology has been spread and also adapted by our own people. And there is no difference between rural or urban or educated or not so educated, skilled or not so skilled. technology savvy or not so technology savvy, everyone seems to have easily taken to it. And now we are necessarily building on it. And not only building on just the digital for payment, but also looking at digital for so many other different things, particularly education, filling in the gap which has come in to play because of the COVID, schools being shut, and also making sure that it has a bearing on farmers and so on. So instead of getting into greater details about the budget, I very clearly present to you a blueprint for the next 25 years, priority on growth, not letting go the digital advantage that India has had, and above all, looking for our youth to have their own aspirations met. And that is why, having understood that giving some facilities has made stand-ups and startups prove their worth, we want to build on the strength of the innovation and the capacity to innovate by our youth. So that support which is being extended in the last few years to startups will continue, and that continuation of support to startups, having seen what they can do in the last few years, we want to build on that strength and that innovation that they bring, that advantage because of innovation that we can focus onto the globe, whether it is in some of the frontier technologies, we want to cash on that as well. So that's where this budget is. I leave this much as an introductory or opening remark, but I suppose there's more verve and strength in the questions and answers and the clarifications and any kind of a, exchange that can happen more than a monologue.